Hey guys, I'm Anthony and welcome to Van Life Chronicles, my life off wheels. So guys, today I felt like I just wanted to sit down and just talk a little bit. Um, I wanted to talk about with you guys today about did I leave the van life too soon? I mean, should I have stuck it out a little longer or what? I also wanted to tap into a little bit of what's driving my thoughts to possibly returning to the van life. What is it that keeps me thinking about possibly, going back into the van life? But before I get into all of that, let's just go back a few years to the year 2016 when I was losing my house to foreclosure. I decided to give the van life a try, and my main goal from day one of choosing to go into the van life was to live the van life long enough so that I can clear up all of my debt and then get out of the van life. For the most part, with the exception of my van, which I have 6 payments left, I have done that. After I pay these 6 payments for my van, I will be 100% debt free. But the question is that I keep asking myself is, did I stop the van life too soon? See, I did what I set out to do, but I stopped right at that point that I accomplished that, with the exception of, again, my van. So I'm thinking I did stop too soon. Had I toughed it out and stayed there even until like today, if this month was the month that I decided that I no longer wanted to be in a van life, I would have stayed in the van life long enough to exceed, which meant exceed paying off my debt. So that means that from the past year, if I would have stayed into the van life until right now, I would have been in the van life for about a year and a half over what I needed to be in the van life or accomplish being in the van life, if that makes any sense. But I stopped, and I shouldn't have stopped. However, and what that did was when I went back into an apartment and I now have all the expenses of an apartment, my monthly earnings. Oh, let me go back just a little bit. Being in that van life, I saved a little money, but the majority of that money went from paying off my debt. So that's important to know because a lot of people will say, okay, you were in the van life for 2 years and you didn't save a lot of money. I didn't. That's true. I didn't save a lot of money, but I accomplished what I wanted to do by living in the van life. And to reiterate once again, I shouldn't have stopped at that point. I should have stuck and hung in with the van life. Okay, so now I'm in a position where I don't want to say it's a position or a situation. It's, again, another choice that I made to stop the van life and move into an apartment. But being in an apartment now, my monthly earnings are now much closer to my monthly expenses, which does not allow me to save a lot of money. I'm not poor by any stretch of the imagination. I can do the things that I need to do or the things that I want to do. However, I'm still not at a point where I feel comfortable financially that if I want to go on a $4,000 trip to Tokyo, which is one of the places I want to go, or Sydney, Australia, which is another place, at this point in time, I can't shell out for a $2,000 plane ticket and then a 2 week stay in Tokyo or Australia. You know what I mean? And to me, that's where my comfort zone is, when I'm able to do that. So I think the reason why my thoughts are continuing to reoccur about the van life is because I'm not there. However, I'm wondering what's going to be my thought process once I pay my van off and have almost an additional $500 a month that I don't have to pay for a bill. Would that take away my thoughts for re-entering, possibly re-entering the van life again? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying that if I was like, had more money, I probably wouldn't even be thinking about going into the van life. Since the real reason I went into the van life was to get rid of debt and save money. But if I have no debt and I'm now able to save money, would there be a need for me to go back into the van life? So I don't want to be this guy that comes on here and continue to tell you guys that, oh, this is my plan. Oh, I'm going to do this year. Oh, I want to do this that year. But the reality of it is things change, people's thoughts change, and I think what I need to do right now is to be patient. I need to be patient. I need to just do one thing at a time and not mentally jump ahead and say, I'm going to do this because of the way that I'm feeling now. I don't know how I'm going to be feeling once I pay my van off and I have that, that additional money that I'm not shelling out for a bill. That might just settle down my whole thoughts of wanting to be in the van life. So I have decided that I am going to wait until that point happens. I'm going to wait until that time happens and see how I respond to having that additional money. See how if having that additional money is going to, I don't want to say free my mind or clear my mind or whatever, but I hope all of this makes sense because I think because I am so close to what I make and what I'm shelling out and I'm not able to save what I want to save, that it's causing me to say, okay, I want to go back into the van life so that I can save even more money quicker. It's not about quicker to me. It's about just being able to do it, period. Being able to save, period. And I think that's why my thoughts are keep reoccurring to go into the van life, is that I'm really, really close to my monthly earnings and my monthly expenses. And I actually believe that once the van is paid off, that I won't feel that so much. Because when I do an overtime day, which Lord knows that might even encourage me to want to do overtime now, that I see that my money getting that overtime day, that double time and that time and a half day on Saturday and Sunday, that might motivate me to want to do some overtime because I know that that additional money is really, really extra additional money that takes me even further over the top. You know what I mean? I might be like up in there and say, okay, let me stop because y'all know I ain't gonna be up in there saying, okay, are we working this weekend? But you get the point what I'm saying, I think I'm just going to relax right now. Get those 5 payments, 6 payments done, and I'm gonna see where I go, where my mind takes me 2 or 3 months after I finish paying off. And the good thing is this. Our busiest month on my job is June, July, and August. When I pay my van off and all of a sudden I feel more freer with my finances, I start to see a big difference in 1 or 2 months of not having that van payment and having a couple of overtime days, I think I'll be okay. But for now, guys, I'm just going to relax on the idea of going back into my van. I hope this whole conversation makes sense to you guys. How not being where I want to be financially can easily drive my thoughts to wanting to go back into the van life. But I do really need to take a step back and wait to see what happens next year in April or May when my van is paid off. So that's basically what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Just, a little brief, candid conversation. You guys know my channel. I love my channel. I do. I mean, I'm not like bragging on it or anything, but I just love how candid I can be with you guys. I feel like that any of you guys who have been watching my channel since like even far as 2 years ago have a really, really good idea of what type of person I am and what type of character I am. And I hope that, I think most of you, or a lot of you, which is really good, feel like we are YouTube friends, and I feel that way about you guys. I'm so familiar with a lot of your names, and I'm actually really happy when you guys comment, and because not only because I don't know you guys, but I'm familiar with your name. And when I see your name in my comment section, I'm like, hey, there's so and so. Hey, how you doing? And I can easily recognize a new person, may not be new, but just don't comment and then decide to comment. I know I recognize that name right away. But I do want to thank you guys so much for sticking around, because I know that most of you guys, if not all of you guys, caught wind of me back from the van life days, and now that I'm not doing the van life days anymore, you guys are still hanging in there for some reason. Y'all must like this little toothless person. But anywho, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for taking a lot of time out of your day to watch my videos. I appreciate it, and let's talk again soon.